Hey guys, it's your favorite gold miner, prospector, and geologist, Jeff Williams. And today, that's right, we're gonna go hunt for some more caves. Because y'all wrote in and you said, Jeff, we love it when you go look for these lost caves and hidden treasure stories. Ooh, especially if they got red-headed giants in them, huh? And along the way, I'm gonna tell you some stories about some friends of mine that used to work out at Area 51. Whoa, I bet you I got your attention now. Yeah, so let's get into it. All right, now, I flew a drone in these canyons here, but I can't remember if it's this canyon or if it's this canyon that's got a really big cave in it. So we're gonna have to look for it. That's what happens when you get older, get used to it, you start forgetting where stuff's at. That's why I always tell you guys, you gotta write stuff down, because you could find a nice gold deposit or a specimen, and then, that's right, you take it home and forget where it came from. I know. Hey, check it out. Somebody left their climbing gear out here. You see that? That means there is a cave out here. I don't even know who makes that. So that tells me maybe I should go up this way, not that way. Look at this beautiful ore that I've got all over the ground here. You see that? That shouldn't be here. There's another one right there. Look at that. And it's all coming from up there. Now, I'm not expecting much as far as gold deposits up here because this is all limestone. And like I always told you before, limestone is not regularly known for its gold deposits, at least not the ones I'm looking for. Yes, there are things called carbonate-hosted gold deposits, but what I'm looking for is intrusion-related deposits, like your skarn deposits and your polymetallic replacement deposits. But what I'm looking for is those intrusion-related deposits where you've got granitic bodies that are intruding up against the limestone. You can get some really nice gold skarn deposits that way. That's what I'm mostly interested in, and I found plenty of those. In fact, there's some really rich ones of a pocket that we pulled out over 5 ounces of gold in this little tiny lens. It's fantastic. Ooh, it's cold out today. You guys been getting a lot of crazy weather? We have. In fact, look, see those mountains? They're all covered with brand new snow. We've been getting rain and hail and snow like nobody's business. It's like Mother Nature's mad or something, huh? Look at that view, huh? Wow, look at that valley. Isn't that a view? Nice. And those are some good looking mountains over there. But the mountains that we're interested in are these mountains right here. Oh, I think I see a cave already, way up in there. Now, I'm pretty sure I told you guys this before, but the reason why caves form so well in limestone is because limestone, much like gypsum and calcite, they erode really easy with just a little bit of carbonic acid, which is rainwater mixed with carbon dioxide. And over millions of years, where the bedding planes are, the water gets in there and slowly dissolves it. So it's a great candidate for caves. And a lot of your deeper cave systems are the ones where you find a hole in the ground or in a bedding plane and it goes down directly. I've seen some of my deepest caves that way. And you gotta be careful because sometimes they don't look like much of anything on the surface and then they can open up into a larger gallery below. Kind of like Tea Kettle Cave or Wounded Knee Cave. I'm glad the wind stopped blowing because woo-wee. Wow, just look at those mountains up there. Oh, that's some beautiful looking snow. Hey, how many of you guys know what mountain range that is, huh? Yeah, why don't you leave me a comment down below. I don't think you'll get it, but it's got a very distinctive shape to it. And if you know the area, you know exactly what that is. Now, I know a lot of you guys are chomping at the bit and you're saying, hey Jeff, we want to know about Area 51 and what your friends saw. Just keep them pants on, I'm gonna tell you. Hold on while I whip this out. I want you to take a look at this limestone. See how I've got this rock unit here and this rock unit here. 2 separate geological events took place. You've got this older Mississippian or Monte Cristo limestone here. You had an event take place here that altered its structure, and you can see a lot of clasts that are inside of this that used to be mud. All this was underneath the ocean at one time during the Precambrian. Now, real quick, you'll see these little nodules and balls. They're called concretions. Yeah, a lot of time they're filled with iron oxide. You see this a lot in your sandstone deposits. And because they're more of a solid iron content, they erode slowly. Oh, I didn't bring my climbing rope. Good thing I ate my Wheaties today, huh? Nice. All right, I'm gonna hang out right here for just a second. Take my pack off and I'm gonna tell you a little story. Wow, what a view, huh? That is a beautiful view. So about 25 years ago, I met a man by the name of Big Jim Easton. I called him Big Jim because he was a very, very large man. And one day the subject came up about UFOs and Bob Lazar. He said, Jeff, I got an interesting story to tell you, whether you want to believe it or not. He said, I used to work as a contractor for a company called Rico, Reynolds Electric Company, and then also another company called EG&G. Now, he told me that he was contracted out of Area 51. Now, keep in mind that these companies were contracted out a lot for Area 51 and, of course, the test site. But as the story goes, he said when he got to Area 51 to do the job, they loaded him up in a military vehicle with escorts, armed escorts that is, and they took him over to another remote location around the other side of the hill. From what I gathered, this area is called S4. But he didn't call it that. He told me that when he got there, the armed guards or MPs told him to not look left or right when they go into the facility, but just look straight ahead, and they'll take him to the location where they need the work done. So him and his crew got out of the vehicle and they went into this very odd shaped looking building. And he told me it was odd shaped because it had a slanted front at about a 50-degree angle. Well, he said when he got inside, it looked like an airport hangar, nothing big. He didn't think anything of it. He figured it was an aircraft hangar for either the stealth bombers or some type of new aircraft that the Air Force was developing. Well, he said when he was walking down through the airport hangar, something large on his right caught his attention. And he tried not to look, but he did look. I mean, come on, who wouldn't want to take a quick glance? And what he described to me was this hangar was actually compartmentalized. And there was a large section that he was in before he went through another set of doors and that led over to a set of offices where he had to go work. He said in this one particular hangar, there was a large gantry crane, and hanging from that gantry crane was a very large disc. He said it was about 35 feet in diameter, and it looked like it was made out of polished aluminum. Now, he mentioned the strange part about seeing this, it was in the very middle of this disc was a very big round hole, but it didn't look natural. It looked like somebody had blown a projectile right through the center of it because he could see shards of metal that had been blown out and shredded. Well, he only had a few seconds to glance over before the MPs caught him looking. Well, when he got to his job site, he finished the job and he was heading back. He was going to try to get a better look, but the MPs took him in a different direction, routed him around to the other side of the building, and they had the escort vehicles there to take him back to Area 51 Dreamland. Now, what exactly it was, I don't know. Why was there a big hole in the middle? I don't know. Did he ever see one flying? Nope. I have a few other friends that told me stories that were very similar to this. Some of their stories are a little bit more exotic. Not only that, but he said he was a calculus major and he wrote a thesis on predicting bust and boom cycles of our economy. And he showed me the formula. In fact, I think I still have it somewhere. And he said by using this formula, you can predict bust and boom cycles of any economy once you plug in all the variables. Yeah, I know. I can hear it from here. Jeff, stop all that jaw-jacking and tongue-wagging and get up and find us a cave to explore. Man, you guys are a tough crowd. I can't please you for nothing. Oh, it's up there. Got to keep going up higher. Why always higher? God! Oh, I see it. I see something. It looks big, whatever it is. You see that? Oh my goodness, it is cold up here. Little on the chili con carne side, my brother. Oh yeah, this is it right here. Oh, at least I can get out of that wind. Yeah, you can see where I've got this distinct bedding plane here, right there, and this is a softer layer, so it's eroding out quicker, which is making these caves. Ooh, I wish my wife was up here to carry my pack. This thing's getting heavy. Yeah, I know, enough jaw jacking, Jeff. Get over there. We want to see what's in that cave. I want to see what's in that cave too. Look how soft this stuff is. See that? That's why the cave is here. This is just eroding away, and that's where all the bits of iron and limonite are coming from. See that? That's a no-brainer. Too bad there wasn't any gold in it. I hope I don't see any red-headed giants in here, because that would make a nice morsel for them. Oh, thank you for bringing lunch up to us. You guys are supposed to be extinct. Yeah, right here, look, look. See the nodules? See the nodules of iron? It's coming out of that one distinct zone. I might even sample that to see if there's anything in it. Oh, there it is. All right, I've seen enough. Let's go home. Oh, have you ever had a friend like that? Okay, I've seen enough. Let's go. Ooh. Ooh, that's bigger than I thought. That's what she said. PG. Oh. Anybody home? Any redhead giants in there? Huh? People have been camping out in this thing for over 100 and 200 years. I got caves all over in this valley. And look at this. Somebody's been digging. See this? This is a huge pile. Looks like little tiny bits and pieces of arrowhead in there. Yeah, like they've been flint mapping. That's pretty cool. All right, let's go take a peek. Let's go take a peek and see what this thing is all about. Let's go see what this is all about. Hello? Oh, it's nice in here. It's nice and dry in here. Wow, this is big in here. Jeez. Looks like they've been digging the heck out of this thing. Probably looking for artifacts. Probably looking for artifacts. Wow, that is big. Yeah, you got dig holes everywhere. Yeah, you can see where they've been digging back up in there. It looks like it keeps going if you were just to dig down. If you were just to dig down. Wow. Look at that. Yeah, you can see where they were digging down here too. They were digging down there. This is really cool. I'm glad I'm out of that wind. Oh, that wind is treacherous. Look at this. Look at this. Guano. There's back guano in here, I think. Yeah, people have been back in here digging. Because it looks like it keeps going if you just dig down far enough. Look at that. Is that a view or what? How'd you like to wake up to that in the morning? Pretty cool, huh? Nice, nice baby. Oh man, I was really hoping it would drop down. So we'd at least be able to drop down and do some cave exploring. Not bad, huh? You guys want to see some more caves, huh? I'm sorry, what? I couldn't hear you. Well, then you better smash that like button.
Smash it home!
I never get tired of hearing that. Come on, let's go find some more caves to explore. Ooh, how'd you like to climb up those things? Now, most of you guys who watch the channel know that we give away a brand new Gold Monster 1000 metal detector every month. But what you may not know is that at the end of this month, we're also giving away a brand new Keen 140S dry washer, complete with gas-powered backpack and hose. We're also giving away a Keen puffer dry washer, complete with electric motor. That way, if you want to run it with a solar panel, you can do that all day long. And as always, we give away 10 incredibly rich Paydirt bags from our drift mine, each one with a silver bar. It looks something like this. Yeah! Now, if you want to get your hands on any of that stuff, all you got to do is look for the little icon at the end of the video that looks something like that. Just click on it, make a $10 pledge, and you instantly qualify to get your hands on any of that stuff. And I'll see you on the next video. That's if the Umpa Umpas don't get me.